President of the United States, the Secretary of State, the National Security Council cut secret deals with Iran that they did not disclose to Congress, they did not disclose to the American people. Secret deals that will endanger us directly and our allies as well. This from Reuters. The United States and its negotiating partners agreed in secret to allow Iran to evade some restrictions in last year's landmark nuclear agreement in order to meet the deadline for it to start getting relief from economic sanctions, according to a think tank report published today. The report, which was released by the Washington-based Institute for Science and International Security, is based on information provided by several officials of governments involved in the negotiations. The group's president, David Albright, former UN weapons inspector and co-author of the report, declined to identify the officials, and Reuters could not independently verify the report's assertions. That said, Albright said, the exemptions or loopholes are happening in secret, and it appears that they favor Iran. Now, what are these exemptions, ladies and gentlemen? Among the exemptions were two that allowed Iran to exceed the deal's limits on how much low-enriched uranium, LEU, it can keep in its nuclear facilities, the report said. LEU can be purified into highly enriched weapons-grade uranium. The exemptions, the report said, were approved by the joint commission the deal created to oversee implementation of the accord. The commission is comprised of the United States and its negotiating partners. It's also comprised of Iran. One senior, knowledgeable official was cited by the report as saying that if the Joint Commission had not acted to create these exemptions, some of Iran's nuclear facilities would not have been in compliance with the deal by January 16, the deadline for the beginning of the lifting of sanctions. Obama, the administration, has said that the world powers that negotiated the accord made no secret arrangements. He said they made no secret arrangements. He lied through his teeth, as he always does. A White House official speaking on condition of anonymity, must be Ben Rhodes, said the Joint Commission and its role were not secret. He did not address the report's assertion of exemptions. Diplomats at the United Nations for the other P5+1 countries did not respond to Reuters' request for comment on the report. Iranian officials were not immediately available for comment. Albright said the exceptions risked setting precedents that Iran could use to seek additional waivers. Albright served as the inspector with the UN International Atomic Energy Agency, the team that investigated former Iraqi President Hussein's nuclear weapons program. The administration of Obama informed Congress of the exemptions on January 16, said the report. Albright said the exemptions, which have not been made public, were detailed in confidential documents sent to Capitol Hill that day, after the exemptions had already been granted. The White House official said the administration had briefed Congress frequently and comprehensively on the Joint Commission's work. Democrat Senator Robert Menendez, a leading critic of the Iran deal and senior member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, told Reuters in an email, "I was not aware, nor did I receive any briefing on the exemptions." Republican Senator and sellout Bob Corker, the committee chairman and leader of the opposition in Congress to the nuclear deal, said the administration was willing to accommodate Iran at every turn to implement a flawed agreement that granted Tehran billions of dollars in sanction relief and paved the way for the industrialization of its nuclear program. As part of the concessions that allowed Iran to exceed uranium limits, the Joint Commission agreed to exempt unknown quantities of 3.5% of LEU contained in liquid and so forth. And it goes on. The draft report said the Joint Commission also agreed to allow Iran to keep operating 19 radiation containment chambers larger than the accord actually had set. These so-called hot cells are used for handling radioactive material, but can be misused for secret, mostly small-scale plutonium separation efforts, said the report. Plutonium is another nuclear weapons fuel. The deal allowed Iran to meet a 130-ton limit on heavy water produced at its Arak facility by selling its excess stock on the open market. But with no buyer available, the Joint Commission helped Tehran meet the sanctions relief deadlines by allowing it to send 50 tons of material to Oman, where it was stored under Iranian control. The shipment to Oman of the heavy water that can be used in nuclear weapons production has already been reported. Albright's report made the new assertion that the Joint Committee had approved the concession. These are impeachable offenses for Obama, for Vice President Biden, for Secretary of State Kerry, for Susan Rice, for the whole top level of the administration, the president on down, lying to the American people, deceiving Congress, lying to Congress, lying about this deal. This is the biggest issue of the day, the biggest issue of the month, the biggest issue of the year. And nobody's talking about it. We have just armed up the most aggressive, detestable terrorist state on the face of the earth. We've just sold out to them. They are on their way of building nuclear weapons, nuclear warheads. They are on their way of perfecting intercontinental ballistic missiles that can reach the shores of the United States of America. And they will be able to do this, if not in a decade and a half. This is the fate that Barack Obama has sealed for the American people. This is the fate that Barack Obama has sealed for your children and your grandchildren. Damn it.
Mark Levin.